Hey, I'm not here to brag, but I know how to focus. And the reason I say that is because I'm a professional athlete, and the way that we conduct ourselves is kind of like the military. It's not about focusing on the battle ahead, it's being able to sustain that focus along the long-term war. So in the soccer world where I play, it's not about the performance on game day. It's about sustaining performance over the whole season. It's a whole year on the pursuit of a championship. And the focus goes beyond the soccer field. It goes into our meetings. It goes into treatment. It goes into strategizing. It goes into rewatching film, watching our opponents, analyzing, talking to your teammates. It's about taking care of your recovery, stretching, going to the gym. It's about your nutrition, taking supplements, sleeping properly. There is so much that goes into our success, and it's basically being disciplined 24/7. So if you want to have that much discipline into achieving your goal, it requires you to have a lot of focus. The reason why it's not a brag is because I just want you to believe me. I want you to trust me and listen to this video because at the end of the day, I want you to get better. And that is my selfish desire because I want to surround myself by high performing people that have big audacious goals because I know that together we can reach our goals together. It's so much easier to reach goals when you're surrounded by like-minded people. This video will be separated in 3 sections. The first one will be why you want to focus. The second one will be why is it so hard to focus? And then the third one is how to actually focus. And I will go into big details into those 3 sections for you to make sure that you don't need any other video after this one to improve your concentration. So let me ask you this. Why do you want to focus? Why do you have that desire to focus? Is there something that you want? You have to make sure that you know exactly what you want because you will not be able to make yourself focus on something that you do not care about. Let's say you want to have good grades, but you realize you only do that to please your parents. It's going to be very hard for you to put the extra time for you to focus on studying if you don't actually care about the grades. If you want to get fit just because you're in a toxic relationship and your boyfriend doesn't like your body, that's not going to make you focus on exercising because you're going to realize that you're doing it for someone else and you're only going to be as powerful as your desires. For example, in my world, I was able to focus so much on my sports career because that was something that I wanted. But now I'm drifting away from my sports world and I'm entering my post-career transition right now, trying to build my personal brand and discover who I want to be outside of an athlete. And that requires a lot of focus because I'm getting out of my comfort zone. But it is actually so easy for me to focus on developing who I am because I have connection to that desire. I cannot even explain how connected I feel to this feeling of self-actualization that I'm thriving for. It's so much easier for me to be disciplined, to be motivated, to actually take action because I am clear about what I want. It's requiring a lot of focus for me to even film this video, but I know what I want. I want to create a community of like-minded people. And it would be so easy for me to not do this right now because in my life, it's very comfortable. I make money. I am pretty fulfilled as a pro athlete. I feel like I have a purpose. I impact young children. It's a very unique, prestigious, and rewarding job that I have. So I could feel completely comfortable. It requires a lot of getting out of my comfort zone to film this video. But I know what I want in the future. So I'm doing this anyways. So foster and nurture that desire because that will make you feel motivated every single day to at least want to focus because we all know that sometimes you don't even think about feeling focused. You don't even think about feeling focused because you don't even have clarity on your goals. You just go about your day mindlessly. You forget about your deepest desires, about what you want in life. And then eventually it catches up to you and you're like, oh my God, I need to focus right now. I forgot that I had that desire. If you want to be consistently reminded of that desire, I have 5 things that you can do every single day. This is something that you need to re-up every 24 hours. Hey, I hate to do this, but I have to do it because I have your attention and this is important because this can actually change your life. If you've made it this far into the video, that means that you're taking yourself, your goals, and your self-improvement seriously. And if you want to take it a step further, I encourage you to join us for this self-improvement challenge that lasts 30 days. It starts July 1st. We will do it all together. We will meet on different platforms. And if you want to know more information, all I need is for you to give me your email through the link in the description. Let's get our dreams together. This is going to be so fun. I'm so excited and I can't wait to see you there. Now back to the video. You need good sleep. You need to eat good nutritious food that has tyrosine. You need to see sunlight early in the morning. You need to drink your water. You need to have movement, and you need to have valuable, meaningful social connections, right? Whether it's to others, to higher power, or to yourself. If you have all of these things taken care of like every 24 hours, you will ensure that you have the dopamine level at the baseline for you to at least have the desire to focus. That is the bare minimum that you need to do. And if you want to focus, you need to make sure that your dopamine is there because dopamine is the molecule of motivation. So make sure that you check those off before you even consider improving your focus. Now let's go into why it is so hard to actually focus. Like once you know what you want, why is it so hard to sit down and get to work and put your attention into one thing? Well, this is going to make you feel a bit better because it is actually not your fault. Part of it is your biology and part of it is literally other people. So the biological part is that, one, we are naturally lazy. We have this universal force that is called entropy, if you remember in science, which is the natural tendency for the world to go towards disaster, chaos, and disorder. That means that naturally we are kind of like self-sabotaging. We are naturally going towards disaster if we do not put energy into it to take control over it. So if we're naturally lazy, we're naturally going to feel this huge resistance to do things that are uncomfortable. The second thing that is part of our biology that makes it hard for us to focus is that we do have a limited source of attention and willpower. We have this thing as decision fatigue, where as the day goes on, it gets harder and harder to be disciplined and focused because we do have a certain energy. That's why I said earlier, you need to re-up that dopamine. You need to re-up that opportunity, that potential for you to focus because it does wear off every single day. And that is due to our ultradian cycle. And I'll go about that in the third part of this video, but just so you know, it is normal that it decreases throughout the day. We are not robots. But then this is where it gets interesting. There are other reasons why we have a difficulty focusing, and it is not our fault. We have a hard time focusing because we are overwhelmed, we are overstimulated, we are delusional, and we are putting too much pressure and expectations on ourselves. And the reason why I say it's not our fault is because it is our government. I hate going there. It is our government. It is the people with a lot of money and a lot of power that made us this way. They want to do everything to keep us broke, sick, distracted, and addicted. They are doing everything to make us in our worst version of ourselves because that way we are easily manipulated, and that's what they want because they can have us under their control. The tech company are making sure that we are always overstimulated, and that way it makes us feel overwhelmed because we are exposed to so much information, yet we don't know what to do with all of that, and we feel like we need to put so much pressure into our whole day when we are taking away from what actually matters. A reason why it's so hard to focus is because we are delusional. And we're delusional in a bad way, not delulu where you manifest things, like delusional in the way where the government, I laugh every time I say that because I sound like one of those people, the government. But the government makes sure that the people that can make a lot of money, these rich white men that are all in tech, make sure that we are addicted to our phones. And then that way it makes us feel like we can have instant gratification. When you can get pleasure right away, when you can get pleasure and dopamine hits from just scrolling through TikTok. And if you have that impression and you're teaching your brain that it's so easy to get those dopamine hits, how are you expected to focus for hours at a time and then feel fulfilled by that? When you focus on your goals, you are delaying gratification. You are literally putting work right now for a better future, but you won't see the results or the feel-good feelings right away because it's something that you're waiting that is bigger and better in the future. So the reason why people love that you're so addicted to your phone is because you're getting broker by the minute, because you're giving your attention to them, and your attention is money. Your attention is time, and time is money. And you're also forgetting about your goals. You're forgetting about your desires. And why would you want to focus on doing things aligned towards your goal when you're not going to see results right away? Just like you do on TikTok, just like you do when you watch TV, just like you do when you play video games. When you get that reward right away, it feels so good. But when you work on your goals, you don't get the reward right away and you feel like it's boring, you feel like it's tough, it feels uncomfortable, and then you don't want to do it. It is not your fault that you got to where you are right now, where it's so hard to focus. It is not your fault, but it is your fault now that you know how you react to this. It is not doomed. It is not a death sentence, the fact that you can't focus. Now, it's all about building that skill. And we're going to go into the third section. How to focus. Let's fucking go. This is where we start controlling the controllables. This is where we are putting the work to actually get better and focus. I love this section because it's all things that I have done. It's all things that I know that works, that I have done in the past or that I still do. So I'm gonna give you a bunch of different actionable tools for you to try to mess around with, to see what works for you. But I know they work. I just know they work. So if you're actually serious about wanting to focus better, you're gonna have to actually try these. You're gonna hate the first one because it's so simple. And I mentioned it earlier, but you need sufficient sleep. People disregard how important this is. You need good sleep because that is what restores your baseline dopamine. And like I said earlier, if you don't have dopamine, it is hard for you to actually want to achieve your goals, to actually want to focus because you don't even have the dopamine or motivation to get going. So make sure you have 7 to 9 hours of sleep every single night. But if you don't have a good night's sleep, there is a way to kind of restore that sleep throughout the day. You have to do what is called NSDR, non-sleep deep rest. And that is extremely restorative. And it's basically called yoga nidra. And all you have to do is go on YouTube, grab your headphones or put it on a speaker and listen, follow through the guidance and let yourself completely defocus. That will allow you to focus better because it's almost like you are catching up on sleep. And that's a myth. You're not actually catching up on sleep, but you're kind of giving a reset button to your system where you can allow yourself to focus afterwards. It's kind of like a recharge. The next thing I want you to focus on is perhaps implementing some meditation. Meditation is a powerful tool that you can practice to improve your concentration. And one of the studies that I rely on is one that do a 13-minute meditation. The 13 minutes is not like this magic number, but just do something around that amount where you literally just close your eyes and focus on your breathing. And what is really cool about this is it's not about perfection. When you meditate, all you have to do is focus on your breath, and every time your mind drifts to something else, you just have to bring it back to your breath. And what makes you actually improve your focus is not your ability to just focus on your breath the whole time. It's your ability to always bring yourself back to your breath. So let's say it takes you 20 times for you to actually go back to your breath in that first minute. That's awesome because you are already building that skill. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's not about being perfect and not thinking the whole time. It's about your ability to bring yourself back to focusing on your breath. Another thing that's super interesting, that's kind of like a hybrid of NSDR and meditation, is hypnosis. And what you can do is go on the Rêverie app. I don't know why I say it that way because it's French, rêverie, which means kind of like to be dreaming. And this app is where there's like guided hypnosis sessions from a dude, and he has like an audio script where you have to just follow the instructions, and it should put you in like a progressive breathing and eye movement pattern that are directly linked to the neural circuits that allows you to be highly focused but in a relaxed state. There are specific hypnosis sessions in there for you to improve your concentration and focus. So might as well give that a try. If you're really serious about getting better at focusing, why not give this a try? By the way, all the things that I'm saying is stuff that I have done, yes, but it's stuff that I have done because I have done my research from watching Andrew Huberman, from listening to his scientific data, to his research, and applying what he has suggested. Because I love doing things based off science. I love doing things based off proof that it's going to work. And it does work because I've done it by experience. I've listened to the proof, but I've also applied it, and I realize it is true. So if you want to be fully committed to that, you just have to have faith and have the courage to actually try these things. Now think about it. Every time you sit down, you feel this agitation, right? It is hard for you to go into a deep state of focus, but that is so normal. It happens to me every time. Every single day that I wake up and I have to get to work, I always feel agitated. I always feel like I don't want to focus. But there are tools to combat that. The first thing you can do is this visual-based tool that people have employed in China with children that want to improve their focus for a longer period of time. And what they do is they make sure that before they do a bout of focus, they are able to fix at a certain point in front of them for 30 seconds to 3 minutes. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you actually try it, a whole minute feels so long. But what you gotta do is you just gotta sit down and put your full attention, and you're allowed to blink, into one spot and just focus on that spot. And just be relaxed, be normal, breathe normally, but just focus on that spot. And you're basically training your brain to realize that it is time to focus. Because the way that you have to treat focus is almost the way that you want to treat exercise. When you want to go to the gym and let's say you want to hit a heavy rep of chest press or squats, you need to warm up beforehand. You can't give maximum performance right away. So it's the same thing with focus. You need to warm up for your focusing session, your focusing bout. And that is a good way for you to warm up. And then just knowing that the agitation is normal and that it will pass the more that you give yourself 5 to 10 minutes to get into that flow state. Just trust that it's going to pass. Like, that's something that I have to remind myself when it feels so uncomfortable to get started. I just know that eventually it will feel better and I will get into it. Something that can also make you get into that focus zone besides that visual cue is to listen to 40 hertz binaural beats. So just Google what that is. And another type of sound that you can listen to is like brown sound, pink sound, or white sound. So if you just need a little extra something for you to be focused, you can try to just do that before your session. And then combined with caffeine. So if you're a fan of caffeine, I'm with you. I love coffee. Caffeine is a stimulant. It raises your adrenaline. It's epinephrine. And epinephrine is a precursor to being able to focus. It's necessary for you to be literally on adrenaline before you focus. You need to kind of have that momentum going. So if you want to have caffeine, I encourage you to do it because it actually works. It actually helps you stay tunnel vision. But something that you should be aware of is don't drink caffeine first thing in the morning. Try to wait about 90 minutes to 120 minutes after you wake up before you drink caffeine, because if you drink it as you wake up in the morning when your cortisol is already high, you are likely to have a crash in the afternoon. So if you want to avoid that afternoon crash, you have to delay your caffeine intake in the morning. Okay, so let's say now you're about to start working and you're feeling completely overwhelmed. Like you just know you have a lot of things to do. There is something that you can do that's called the physiological sigh that actually helps me before I get to work. So my mind is all over the place a lot of the times. My mind has so many different projects. There are so many things I want to do. And sometimes when I sit down, I just want to do a bunch of different things, or my attention is in all different places. What I like to do is this physiological sigh, which is something that we naturally do subconsciously, but you can consciously do this anytime. So what you got to do is take 2 breaths in and then 1 breath out. So it goes like this. I hope this didn't look weird at all, but so basically you have 2 inhales, preferably with your nose, and then when you inhale the first time, it's going to be longer than the second time. The second inhale is a little bit sharper, and then your exhale is really elongated. And I don't know what or why it works, but you do it 1 to 3 times and literally it calms you down. It makes you de-stress. It makes you a little bit more relaxed. Sometimes you feel like you're almost too hype or too much on adrenaline before you start, or you're too anxious. When you have that deep physiological sigh, it allows you to kind of just come back to yourself and just chill. Just realize, okay, what do I have to do? What is the most important thing I need to do right now? And this is what you need to do. You need to pick one thing to focus on. You cannot multitask. Multitasking is a myth. Don't try to do tons of things at the same time, because you're not going to put full attention and full productivity and full efficiency into any of the things if you disperse your attention. Just pick one thing. Practice essentialism, where you pick the most essential thing that you need to do, the thing that will make you the most progress. Do that. Don't try to do the little works. Don't try to do responding to comments or the little emails or the whatever work that is trivial and doesn't mean much. Pick the task, the hardest task that you got to do, and do this as a priority. Do this first. Every time you switch tasks when you're multitasking, you are requiring you to go over that agitation phase all over again. That's why you want to keep yourself on one single task, because once you go over that hump of agitation, you will be able to lock in so much better. And your mind will drift here and there while you're on that task. But because you're practicing meditation, because you're aware, and because you know what I'm about to tell you right now, it is normal for you to drift away. You just need to bring yourself back. And you don't want to go into a task for more than 90 minutes. It is with our ultradian cycle that I mentioned earlier. We have an ultradian cycle, kind of like the circadian cycle, which is a 24-hour cycle that we have. The ultradian cycle is 90 minutes. It's just something that is rooted in our biology. So you can focus for up to about 90 minutes, and you can do that 2 to 3 times a day. And I know you might think like, wait, I have so many more hours of work a day, but I'm talking about deep focus, the one that you actually have to put a lot of effort into learning, like very concerted effort into this one skill, this one task, this one focus bout. You only have about 2 to 3 potential of focus like that a day. So when you go through one, make sure that you have a break. Just kind of like when you work out and you do a whole session or a whole rep, when you put max effort, you need time to recover. So give yourself like a 10 to 15 minute break in between, where you kind of let go, you let your mind drift. Maybe you do a chore, maybe you go for a walk, do something that is very chill and not stimulating, like going on your phone. Do something chill so you can recover before you do your second bout of work. And then if you want to make sure that while you're working, this is probably the most important thing in this whole video. If you want to focus, you need to eliminate distractions. That is the only way that you'll be able to keep doing what you want to do, because you have nothing else to distract you. That's what focus is all about. It's about eliminating distractions. It's that simple. You need to put your phone away, put it on do not disturb, put limits on your phone for social media, maybe put your phone in grayscale. I've done that before, where my phone literally looked unappealing to even go on because everything was gray. I know it's a little psycho, but you can do that if that really helps you. Make sure that your whole environment, your desk, is free of any distraction. No people that can call you, no food, no nothing. Out of sight, out of mind. Like, think about it. The reason why you can't focus is probably because you have your TV on, because your phone is right there and you can just go on it and like distract yourself with social media. You really just have to optimize your environment. And this is not something that is scientific, but personally, I need my environment to be where I'm physically comfortable. Like I have to have comfortable clothing. I can't feel like restricted in any way. Sometimes switching my environment is important. Like sometimes I'm in my apartment a lot, so I need to go out of my apartment. I go to a coffee shop, I go to the lobby or wherever my building complex like has a little business area. Switching my environment also helps me because it tells my brain it is time to get shit done. And something that is also like not not scientific, but I love watching like motivational videos before I start. I love listening to like hardcore motivational video because it puts me in that zone. It puts me in that lion mode where I want to get after it. At the end of the day, if you just know what you want, you know what the most important task is, and you eliminate all distraction where all you have to do is to just do the work, you're going to figure a way to focus. And if you want to really ensure that you do focus every single day, you have to make sure that your schedule allows it. Your schedule is so important. You should block times. You should block 90-minute times where you force yourself to focus. That's what I do. When I wake up earlier in the morning, earlier than I need to, it's to be able to do my most important task of the day. And just like I said, focus is a skill. It's something that you're gonna have to practice. It's gonna feel shitty at first. So if you're bad at focus right now, you're still going to be bad tomorrow. But the more that you do it, the better you'll be. Don't expect to finish this video and feel like you have it figured out. You're still going to feel shitty when you try to focus. But at least you have a better outline, a better guidance of little tools that you can do for you to focus. Another thing that I didn't mention about nutrition is like, it doesn't matter if you're fasted or fed for focusing, providing that if you're fasted, you're not like so hungry that you think about food while you're trying to focus, and fed, you don't want to be overfed where your energy goes towards digesting too much. So you want to be like about 80% full. But it doesn't matter really what you eat. If you want to actually be a little bit more picky, you could take supplements with tyrosine, which also helps you with dopamine and acetylcholine, I think. And then I might be wrong. But anyways, tyrosine, I know for a fact, helps with improving focus. And you can also take creatine as well. And you can take fish oil as well. There are supplements that can also help you. But I think that the most powerful ways for you to actually focus is things that are more actionable. It's like you in movement, you doing the thing, than like what you take in and stuff. I wanted to mention that just in case that's something that you wanted to look into. Because at the end of the day, you need to do your homework. You need to figure out what works for you, what is interesting to you. I just gave you tons of different tools that you need to think about for you to start focusing better. Oh, and I forgot about this. Oh my God. I planned this video somewhat, like I didn't have a script, but I did have an outline saying like those 3 sections I wanted to talk about, but I'm sorry if it was a little bit chaotic. I forgot about freaking cold showers. The reason why I want to mention that is that you want to raise your adrenaline right before focus. You want to have that elevated because it is a precursor to focus. And taking cold showers or cold baths are proven ways for you to raise adrenaline. So if that's something that's interesting to you, that you really want to challenge yourself, and if you want to do this self-improvement challenge with me, where we're going to go on this journey of 30 days of self-improvement, that could be one of the things that you do for 30 days is take a cold shower in the morning. That's a good idea. I've done it in the past. I've done tons of cold tubs all the time. I mean, as a pro athlete, you do it all the time, but it really does help. It really does give you that boost that sometimes you're just missing, that you're looking for. So at the end of the day, you need to stay accountable for yourself. I'm sorry that you were also a victim, like everybody else, of rich people that just want you to stay poor, broke, sick, addicted, distracted. But now that you know, you need to take accountability of your life. You need to take responsibility of your future and realize that what you do right now is what matters. How you respond to this is what matters. And you need to take your goals seriously. You need to take yourself and your desires seriously and actually put in the work and focus. Because at some point, focusing won't feel that hard anymore. Focusing won't feel that scary because you will know how to deal with that. It will be a skill. You will feel like it is in your nature, but it is a skill that you need to build. And right now we're rookies, so obviously it feels shitty, but it will get better. I promise you that. So thank you for watching. If you watch until the end, put an animal emoji in the comments. In whatever comment you do, put an animal emoji, because that will show me if you listened until the end, if you had the focus to listen into the end, which is very rare. Not a lot of people watch the full videos. And then secondly, in the description, there is a link for you to sign up for my newsletter. It's not that serious. It's just like, if you want to have information about the self-improvement challenge, you have to sign up in the description, like, for you to get the information. So excited for all these projects we have together. Let's get after our goals. Let's build this community and make sure that we become high-performing people that will be impactful, influential, and fulfilled in our lives. Let's go. I love you so much. See you very soon in a new video. Mwah.